and welcome back everyone. In this series of video we are studying about the kingdom fungi. In the last video we studied about the classification of fungi, and in this video we will be studying about the Zygomycetes and the life cycle of the Zygomycetes as a whole. Okay, so let us come to the topic. You see here the Zygomycetes, they are also known as conjugation fungi. Okay, why are they known as conjugation fungi? You can see from the diagram that they are reproducing with the help of conjugation of plus and minus strand. Okay, whenever we study about the fungi, to know by what basis are they named is very important. Okay, so they are named because they produce diploid resting Zygo spores. Okay, these fungi are named as Zygomycetes because they produce diploid resting Zygo spores. Okay, we will be studying about Zygo spore when we come to the sexual reproduction part. Okay, and the example is Rhizopus stolonifer, that is the bread mold. Okay, coming to the life cycle of Zygomycetes, they undergo two type of reproduction throughout their life cycle. Okay, we will be studying about each type of reproduction one by one. First is asexual reproduction. They perform asexual reproduction by spore formation. Okay, how? That is mycelium or hyphae. Mycelium means the mass of hyphae. We can use this word alternately. Okay, mycelium, it produces sporangia, it produces spores. Okay, and those spores, those are released and again they produce new mycelium. Again you see the cycle: mycelium to sporangia to spores, and spores to mycelium. They all are haploid. There is no alternation in generation during the asexual reproduction. So coming to the sexual reproduction, you see here the sexual reproduction happens by the conjugation of plus and minus strand. Okay, what are plus and minus strand? Is that Zygomycetes, they are similar in the morphology, but their inner constituent or their physiology is different. Okay, there are two types, like we have male and female. In the same way they also have plus and minus strand. Okay, and they both conjugate to form Zygo spores. Okay, and the plus strand and the minus strand, the main gamete of the strand, are known as gametangia. I think this is very small. Okay, plus strand gamete is known as gametangia, and minus strand gamete are also known as gametangia. Okay, two gametangia here, one gametangia and another gametangia, they fuse to form Zygo spores. Here I have written gametangia and N. Okay, because there was no space, that is the reason. And you see here they are forming Zygo spores. Zygo spores is 2N. Okay, and this is the main thing that is making all the difference in this case. Okay, Zygo spores is the like hero of the story of Zygomycetes, because they are named Zygomycetes because of Zygo spores, and it is only the part that is diploid in this whole life cycle. Okay, you see here it is very interesting: plus strand and minus strand, N. Okay, they both fuse to form Zygo spores, and these Zygo spores, they undergo meiosis. Okay, meiosis means reductional division, right? From 2N it will again come to N. Okay, and the hyphae will be N. All right, and these hyphae will again produce mycelium. That means hyphae grow and they will become bunch of mycelium, and these mycelium will again produce spore. You see, they are now entering this thing, right? Mycelium to spore, here also mycelium to spores, and again spores to plus strand and minus strand. That this cycle, it goes and goes. Okay, this is asexual reproduction and this is sexual reproduction. So during the sexual reproduction they enter a sexual reproduction process as well, isn't it? Finally and ultimately it is going through the process of asexual reproduction by sexual means, isn't it? Here we can see the alternation in generation in case of the formation of Zygo spore, because it is only the diploid spores. Okay, rest of everything is haploid in this case. Okay, you just keep this thing in mind, that Zygo spore is the hero of this story. Okay, and everything you will be remembering, right? Now coming to the next, that is I'll be explaining you this thing in more detail. You see here, this is the picture which is showing asexual reproduction, and this is the picture which is showing sexual reproduction in Zygomycetes. Okay, during asexual reproduction this kind of structure is formed, that is from the mycelium. Okay, the hyphae, they start growing in the vertical direction. Okay, and this is no more known as hyphae. Now this vertical direction grown part is known as sporangiophore. Okay? At the top of this sporangiophore there is a bulge. Okay, and this bulge is known as columella. All right, at the top of this columella, okay, there is a sac-like structure known as sporangia, and this sporangia is the main hero of the story for asexual reproduction. Okay, why is that? Because this sporangia, it contains spores, and the sporangia, as they burst out, the spores are released, and those spores again start living as a new individual hyphae. Okay, coming to the sexual reproduction part, you see here there are two type of strand, that is plus strand and minus strand. Okay, I have drawn these part with black color. Okay, but the bottom part I have made it in one blue and another black. Okay, why is that? Because they are similar in appearance, but there is a difference in their physiology. So during sexual reproduction, what happens? A bulge kind of structure grows out from the hyphae. Okay, and this bulge structure is known as progametangia. As this bulge structure it matures, okay, it is now known as gametangia. All right, this part they are known as gametangia because they are now mature, and so they are coming forward for conjugation. Okay, and in the next step what is happening is wall between the two gametangia are breaking. Okay, here the wall between the two gametangia, they are breaking, and then in next step what is happening? The main hero is formed now. Okay, that is Zygo Spores, they are formed. You see what is the structure of Zygo Spores? Zygo Spores, they are big. Okay, they have a fluffy mass of cytoplasm. All right, they just rest for a lot period of time. That is why they are known as resting zygospores, and during these resting period what it does, it keeps reserve of so many nutrients such as lipids and glycogen. Okay, so that it can grow further to the next stage. This is known as zygospores, or you can tell it as a resting zygospores. All right, why are they known as resting? Because during the period of their rest they store lipids and glycogen. They keep a reserve of all those things so that they grow more bigger in size and they can support the growing sporangia. Okay, now you see again these zygospore will now enter asexual reproduction. See, we studied about asexual reproduction here, right? From the sexual reproduction also we are entering to the same sporangia here. Now the same scenario. All right, what happens in asexual reproduction, same happens here also. What that means, what happens? These sporangia will grow in size, right? And they will burst and they will release spores, and those spores will live as an individual hyphae. They will form mycelium, and again they will form sporangia, and again they will burst, and again they will release spore, and again they will live as an individual hyphae, and this process continues. Okay, means zygospores are nothing but they are the class of the fungi which reproduces both by asexual and sexual means. Okay, and by asexual reproduction they form sporangia, and by the sexual reproduction they form zygospores. So, and the sexual reproduction is again finally related to asexual type of reproduction itself. See that they are entering the same cycle. Okay, this was for today. In the next coming video we will be studying about the life cycle of Zygomycetes, that is the sac fungi, and the Basidiomycetes, that is the club fungi. Okay, so stay tuned, keep learning. Thank you.